Guess what those blood vessels are doing, those abnormal blood vessels? They have been discovered to secrete a neurotoxin that kills your brain cells. So, abnormal angiogenesis in Alzheimer's disease grows blood vessels that don't create blood flow, but they secrete a toxin that kills brain cells.
What Dr. Lee just described happens silently every day in millions of people over 60. But here's what the same research reveals. Certain foods may help the body defend itself against this process. And it all starts with something most people over 60 have never been told. Your brain is not finished growing. Even right now, even at 60, 70, or 80 years old, your brain still has the ability to form new connections, repair existing ones, and in certain conditions actually grow new cells. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, and researchers like Dr. William Lee are now studying something remarkable, that certain everyday foods may actually trigger this process. The same foods, by the way, that researchers are also studying for how they may starve cancer cells by cutting off their blood supply. These aren't exotic superfoods you've never heard of. Most of them are sitting in grocery stores right now, waiting. Today, we're going through 5 of them. Stay with me, because food number 3 is one that researchers describe as nature's most powerful brain compound. And food number 5 will probably surprise you completely. Now, throughout this video, you'll hear from Dr. William Lee, a Harvard-trained physician scientist, founder of the Angiogenesis Foundation, and the author of the New York Times bestseller, Eat to Beat Disease, which has changed how millions of people think about food and health.
Our blood vessels are remarkable. We've got 60,000 miles worth of blood vessels packed inside our body. 400 of those miles are actually in our brain. These blood vessels need to be maintained, just like a road, in the countryside. If you don't maintain the road, it's going to break down over a period of time.
That's the foundation of everything Dr. Lee studies. And his central discovery, the one that changed how millions think about food as medicine, is that certain everyday foods may help maintain those roads, protect those 400 miles, and activate your body's own repair systems from the inside out. That's exactly what today's 5 foods do. Let's get into them. The first food looks almost like a fairy tale, white, flowing like a little cloud growing out of a log. It's called lion's mane mushroom, and researchers are paying serious attention to it not because it's trendy, but because of 2 natural compounds it contains called hericenones and erinacines. These compounds are being studied for their potential to stimulate something called nerve growth factor, the signal that tells your brain to repair connections and grow new ones. For decades, scientists believed the brain was essentially fixed after a certain age. What you had, well, that's all you had, but we now know that's not entirely true. Lion's mane may help activate that process. And the cancer connection? Some early research suggests lion's mane may also support the immune system, one of the body's primary cancer defense mechanisms. Sauté it in olive oil with a little garlic. It gets golden and slightly crispy, and the flavor is surprisingly mild, a little like crab or scallops. Add it to soups, stir-fries, or grain bowls. Simple, accessible, and one of the most fascinating foods on this list. Now, the next food has been sitting in your kitchen, possibly for years, but most people have no idea what it's quietly doing inside the body. Food 2, wild blueberries. Now, before you think I already know about blueberries, stay with me, because there's a difference most people never hear about. Wild blueberries. Not the large, plump ones you usually see in grocery store containers. The small, dark, almost black ones. And the difference matters enormously. Wild blueberries contain significantly higher concentrations of anthocyanins, the natural compounds that give them that deep, dark color. Researchers study anthocyanins for their antioxidant activity, their ability to protect cells from oxidative stress, and oxidative stress, researchers tell us, is one of the key drivers of both brain aging and cancer cell growth.
But a really good immunity also protects us from cancer because our immune system conducts surveillance throughout our body and looks for abnormal cells like cancer cells and wipes them right out.
That immune surveillance Dr. Lee just described, your body's ability to find and destroy abnormal cells, depends heavily on what you eat. And wild blueberries have been shown in clinical studies to measurably increase natural killer cells, the immune cells that patrol your body looking for exactly those threats. But here's the part that makes them especially powerful for the brain. Studies are exploring whether compounds in wild blueberries may support healthy blood flow to the brain, and as Dr. Lee established, healthy circulation is everything for your brain. Wild blueberries are available, frozen in most grocery stores year-round. Add them to oatmeal, yogurt, and smoothies. The frozen ones actually retain their compounds beautifully, sometimes better than fresh. Small, dark, quietly powerful. Quick note, all 5 foods in this video are included in the free guide linked below. Grab it now and keep watching. Now, food number 3, the one researchers are genuinely most excited about for brain health after 60, walnuts. And I want to start with something that will make you look at walnuts very differently every time you crack one open. Look at the inside of a walnut. It looks almost exactly like a human brain. 2 hemispheres, folded surface, even a small stem at the bottom. Whether that's a coincidence or not, what's inside is remarkable. Walnuts contain ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that researchers study for its role in supporting brain cell membrane health. They also contain polyphenols, compounds that Dr. William Lee's research specifically highlights for their potential to support the body's defense systems against cancer.
It's a holy grail in the cancer treatment pharmaceutical world to look for drugs that can kill cancer stem cells. But Mother Nature beat everyone to the game, and walnuts contain this bioactive that can kill colon cancer stem cells in lab studies. There was a clinical study involving about 700 people, and this was a study done by 7 major cancer centers across the United States, like Harvard Medical School. And what the researchers found is that those cancer patients who had stage 3 colorectal cancer, that if they ate 2 fistfuls of tree nuts like walnuts a week while they're getting treatment. So this is actually, patients getting all the things they would normally get, plus eating 2 fistfuls of nuts like walnuts. There was a 70% reduction in the risk of dying from the cancer.
Now, that study was specifically about colorectal cancer, but here's why it matters deeply for your brain. Walnuts are one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids on Earth. And omega-3s don't just fight cancer, they are the primary building block of your brain cell membranes. Every neuron you have depends on them, which brings us to a jaw-dropping finding about omega-3 levels and how long you live. A large study found that people with the highest levels of omega-3s in their blood lived approximately 5 years longer than those with the lowest levels. 5 years, and walnuts are one of the richest plant-based sources available. A small handful, about 7 whole walnuts, is all you need daily. On yogurt, in oatmeal, chopped over a salad, or just eaten as an afternoon snack. Maybe you're 62, or 68, or 74. And there's a quiet worry somewhere about your memory, about your body, about whether you're doing enough. That's exactly why these last 2 foods matter most. Foods 4 and 5 are where the research gets genuinely remarkable. Let's keep going. Food number 4 might be the most welcome surprise on this entire list. Dark chocolate. Real high-quality dark chocolate, 70% cacao or higher, which contains natural compounds called flavonols. And flavonols are something Dr. William Lee discusses specifically in the context of the body's defense systems. Here's why. Dr. Lee's foundational research is on exactly this mechanism, how certain foods may help the body regulate angiogenesis and potentially cut off the blood supply feeding cancer cells.
2 cups of dark chocolate in the form of hot chocolate. That's it. 2 cups to have a day for 30 days. And at the end of 30 days, dark chocolate, the proanthocyanidins, not only got into the bloodstream, but they doubled the number of stem cells circulating in your blood vessels, and they doubled the resiliency, improved by twofold the resiliency of your blood vessels just over the course of a month.
Remember what Dr. Lee told us at the very start of this video. 400 miles of blood vessels run through your brain. If you don't maintain them, they break down. Dark chocolate just doubled the resilience of those roads and doubled the stem cells, repairing them in 60-year-olds with heart disease in 30 days. That resilience means better blood flow to your brain, which, as we've established, is foundational to memory, focus, and cognitive health. The important details: 70% cacao or higher. This is non-negotiable. Milk chocolate has too much sugar and far fewer flavanols. 1 to 2 small squares daily is what research tends to look at. And now, food number 5, the one I mentioned at the beginning that might surprise you most. It's not exotic, it's not expensive. In fact, you've probably walked past it in the produce section dozens of times without giving it a second thought. Broccoli sprouts. Not broccoli, though broccoli is excellent too. Broccoli sprouts. The tiny, delicate, thread-like sprouts that appear in the first few days of a broccoli seed germinating. And here's the jaw-dropping fact. Broccoli sprouts contain a compound called sulforaphane in concentrations that can be 50 to 100 times higher than in mature broccoli. 50 to 100 times higher. Sulforaphane is one of the most studied natural anti-cancer compounds in nutritional science. Researchers have explored its potential to activate the body's own detoxification pathways, support healthy DNA repair, and yes, interfere with the mechanisms cancer cells use to survive and spread.
The sulforaphane levels in broccoli sprouts is 100 times higher than the sulforaphane levels in an adult broccoli. So small but mighty are the broccoli sprouts.
And sulforaphane isn't just anti-cancer. Research from Johns Hopkins shows it activates a protein in your brain called NRF2, your body's master switch for fighting inflammation and oxidative stress. The same two forces driving the silent damage Dr. Lee described at the very start of this video. 3 days old, 100 times more powerful. This might be the most underrated food on this entire list. And for the brain specifically, sulforaphane is being studied for its potential to cross the blood-brain barrier, the protective layer between the bloodstream and the brain, and support the brain's own antioxidant systems. And here's the practical part. Broccoli sprouts are inexpensive, available in most grocery stores, or you can grow them yourself at home in a simple mason jar for just a few dollars. Add them raw to salads, on top of avocado toast, tucked into a sandwich or wrap. Raw is best. Heat can reduce the sulforaphane content. Small, unassuming, and according to researchers, one of the most powerful foods you can eat. So, 5 powerful foods. Wild blueberries and walnuts in your morning yogurt or oatmeal. Half a teaspoon of powdered lion's mane in your coffee. Broccoli sprouts at lunch on a salad or in a wrap. 1 square of dark chocolate, 70% or higher in the afternoon. And sautéed lion's mane at dinner. All 5 foods plus 100 more are in the free guide, linked in the first comment below. Which of these 5 foods surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And remember this, your body is not finished. Not at 60, not at 70, not at 80. And if you want to take this even further, this next video shows you how to boost the protective compounds already sitting in your morning coffee. It's easier than you think. As always, everything here is for information only, not medical advice. If you're managing a condition or taking medications, please speak with your doctor first. Until next time, nourish yourself well.